Hello, I'm Kevin Pettit, and it's great to meet you. I've served as a visual arts teacher and yearbook advisor at Irmo High School for the past 22 years, and I'm currently working on my administrator's practicum while serving as an administrative assistant at Irmo High School. I earned my master's at the University of South Carolina, my plus 30 at Coastal Carolina, and attained my national board certification in 2008 and again in 2018. And I also completed the Leadership Academy certification class last year. Now, I have a deeply vested interest in the success of this school, and I'd like to see it become the premier high school that it was once known as. Outside of school, I've had a continuing career as a musical recording artist and a visual public artist. I believe that my wide field of experience makes me uniquely qualified to start a podcast for Irmo High School. Podcasts are exploding on the market, and several high schools in the region have already started their own shows. My research has shown that in 2022, there are about 500 million podcasts that are available. They're relatively easy to make, they're inexpensive, extremely popular, and most importantly, they are completely downloadable on your phone, and once they've aired, you can listen to them just whenever you want to. I've recently completed a graduate course that focused on podcasting. Through this course, I've learned how to start a podcast, what supplies will be needed, and how to market it to make it as successful as possible. I'm also lucky to have two very close friends that have successful podcasts right here in Columbia. That's Chad Alexander, who runs the Local Bar podcast, and Billy Riot has the Riot House podcast. I've been a guest on both of their shows, and I've actually been on Chad's show about 4 or 5 times. And I've gotten a commitment from Chad just recently to help us get started developing a podcast here at Irmo. I would like to develop a podcast this year that focuses on 2 main things: weekly updates on all the news of Irmo High School, and some interviews with students, faculty, and other people of interest to the Irmo family. I'd like to have a weekly podcast that informs our student body and faculty of all the sports events, social news that is happening every week at the school, and also include one interview per podcast with an interesting member of our Irmo family. This podcast will help the school be better informed about what is happening at the school, and it'll help foster a deeper sense of community and pride here at Irmo High. In keeping with our branding, I propose to call the podcast The Stinger. I have researched what we will need to start this podcast, and we actually have almost all of the equipment that will be needed in the Technology Center over in the West Wing. For a small investment of no more than $300, we could purchase the few additional items needed to ensure we produce a professional podcast that I believe would be a great benefit to our school and our community. Chad has agreed to help us get started by advising us on exactly what extra supplies we will need, how to market the podcast so that we will reach the greatest amount of people, and to help train everyone who's involved in this project. I hope that you will look over the statistics and the plans I've brought for you. Give this plan some serious consideration. I really think this should be an important leap forward in both our technological impact and our positive social footprint on the community. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I will email you later on today with more information on this. Thanks again. Bye-bye.